Peace, people. This is Brother Sakim coming at you from the heart of North Philadelphia. Yesterday I was out in Harlem and I ran into the man they call Shakka Ahmose. First I want to give a shout out to Sinetta and Sinetta Studios, because he is the man that inspired me to do what I do on this platform. I want to get this platform up and running to bring the people the conscious news and hope that someday we get out of this mess. If it wasn't for Sinetta, half of you wouldn't even be doing what you do. Half of you be dressing your cats and your dogs on the damn YouTube or taking pictures of people pulling weave out the damn hair. But I had the honor and the privilege to have Shakka Ahmose on my platform, Key Life Productions. He dropped his words of wisdom, and I want SETI, I want the General Sara Sutin Seti, and I want young Pharaoh to know that, look, I know you seen me, I know you seen my name, Brother Sakim, up on your Instagram. So I don't want you to say that he all up on our Instagram and now he out there talking shit about us with Shakka. I just want you to know I ain't playing the two-faced game. I love all my people. I listen to everybody from one point to another. And I just want you to know I'm not doing the two-faced game. So now, without further ado, we're going to go in and listen to the words of Shakka Ahmose, which had some choice words for Sara Sutin Seti and young Pharaoh, which I would love to see a debate. May not happen, but if it does, I will be there. Peace, guys and goddesses. This is Brother Sakim coming at you from New York, up in Harlem, and I am here with the great Shakka Ahmose, one of the people that I look at as one of my mentors. I woke up with so many things from him. Shakka, I'd like to ask you first, what woke you up? What made you want to get up and help get your people out of this mess that they're in?
Well, to be quite honest, I grew up in a family that was African-centered. Raised around people like Dr. Joseph Ben-Yakin, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Professor James Small, people like that. But kind of like the preacher's daughter syndrome, you know, when you got the preacher's daughter or son, they rebel. They don't want to be a part of that. Right. I went through that phase. I didn't want to be a part of that. I thought it was all racism against white people and all of this stuff. All of this stuff. Big Rock was good, right? Yo, right? So I went through that phase. And so honestly, I went from all the African stuff to knowing who we were and ancient Kemet and all of that. I went from that to Christianity. Right? As a young person, like in my I would say my early 20s, my real early 20s, I went to Christianity. And that was really because I was going to get married. And the young lady was a Christian, and she was like, for us to get married, we got to be, you know, evenly yoked, as they say.
They happened to me with a Muslim.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, you know, no big deal. But the thing was that when I started reading the Bible, all of the things that I had been taught prior started coming back and flooding my mind. And I could tell by the way the Bible was written that a lot of stuff had been left out. And that I knew the backdrop to the story that wasn't put in. Right. And so when I realized that, I couldn't make that move with her. And I basically just really came back home. You know what I mean? I came back home and said, you know, and that was at maybe 24, 25. And at that age, I just said, you know what? let me just stick with what I know to be true, and that's what I was raised in: African-centeredness, Nile Valley culture and civilization, as far as the classical civilization, the classical African civilization.
Right.
So that's what I was raised in, and that's where I've been ever since. And when black people, when they want to know something about our past, about our history, as it pertains to everything else, I'm grateful that I put myself in a position to be able to furnish us with accurate and correct answers that, number one, they could verify for themselves. Because one of the problems with the so-called conscious community is a little too much hero worship going on.
Yeah.
Everybody is, my teacher is this, and my teacher is that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what your teacher was. Your teacher was the same thing my teacher was, a human being, which means they had errors, flaws, mistakes in their ideology, errors and flaws and mistakes in their scholarship, just like I have errors and flaws and mistakes in my scholarship. But my job as a scholar is to minimize them to a point where those errors and flaws are almost inconsequential. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that basically explains why my scholarship has the veracity that it has and why so many people gravitate towards it, because there's nothing that I'm going to tell you that you can't go fact find for yourself.
Yeah,
nothing.
I heard you go in about that Codex Bible.
About which one?
The Codex Bible, the original.
Oh, the Codex?
The Codex?
Yeah, but there's a bunch of codexes out there.
Yeah,
There's not any one of them that's just a codex.
Right.
There are a number of codex. Just means a book.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the earliest book forms.
Okay.
And a lot of times people make the mistake of thinking that the earliest codexes are found outside of Egypt. That's not true.
Oh.
Egypt didn't just have papyruses; it had books as well. So yeah, that's what basically woke me up. What woke me up was just going back to the roots in which I was raised after I had been exposed to the after I had been exposed to the game that Christianity and Islam try to play on you.
Right.
So once I exposed to it, I had not exposed myself to the game first. I grew up, like I said, in an African-centered family. So because of that, I wasn't really exposed to the game that Christianity played and the game that Islam and Judaism played. So once I was exposed to those games, and I could see through them like pretty quickly and pretty easily, I was like, okay, this is not for me. I know what's real and what's true, and that's what I went back to, and that's what I've been with ever since.
Right.
And blessed to be by the ancestors, I will always be with that.
Yeah.
You know?
I said, now that you see through what's going on, I hear a lot of people say, I agree with it, and they say we all gotta put this to the side, put that aside, come together, but when you think about this, you have the Hebrew Israelites is going to have to put Yahweh to the side, and they're going to have to put Jehovah to the side. They're going to have to put Allah to the side. And ain't nobody trying to do that because everybody think that their particular God is what's going to get us out.
Well, I really don't understand why black people who are in their right minds feel that they need black people who are not in their right minds. Why do you feel you need them? I don't understand that. Why do you feel like as black people, why do we feel like we need the Hebrew Israelites? Why do we feel like we need the black Muslim enthusiasts? Why do we feel like we need people who are sick with religion? Why? I don't understand why we feel like we need them. That's like saying I want to go for a swim, but I'm going to attach these suitcases to my legs.
Right.
What's the point? I don't see that logic.
Yeah.
There is no logic there to me. You understand what I'm saying? So,
right.
I don't think it's about putting anything to the side because they're not going to put. That's like telling a hustler to put his money to the side. He ain't going to do that. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
People rock with what they know. People rock with what feeds their comfort zone. And so once you understand that, your job is, if you know what the right thing to do is on behalf of yourself and behalf of your people, just do it. Right. Sometimes you can accomplish more. Look at somebody like Edward Snowden, somebody like Julian Assange, right? These are two public enemies in America, right?
Right.
Because they did what? Because they furnished the masses with information as it pertains to the power structure, right? With WikiLeaks, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't need a whole group of people to do that. Black people always feel like, I don't know, I think we watch too many movies or something. We think we got to be like a 300. We all got to come together. And it don't work like that. Right. Sometimes, if knowledge is power, it only takes one person that got that necessary knowledge to do what needs to be done. And let me tell you what the power in that is. the power in that is that the others who are not informed, they're so weak that when that strong one makes the decision, the weak ones ain't gonna have no choice but to do. The weak ones gonna do the same thing that they do when white folks in the know make decisions. They're gonna fall in line.
Just fall in line.
That's it.
Exactly.
Sheep are gonna be sheep whether they black people or white people.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Sheep are gonna be sheep. It don't matter what their color is. You got black sheep, you got white sheep. You got brown sheep, you got polka dot striped sheep. You know what I mean? You got Puerto Rican sheep, you got Dominican sheep. You feel me? Chinese sheep, sheep are gonna be sheep. You know? So it's for those of us who can look out into the world and see things as it actually is and then do the necessary, that's the real challenge. The real challenge is seeing the world as it is. And most of us don't, because we look at it, whether you a pimp, prostitute, a hustler, a record label person, even a head of the Pentagon, whatever it is. If you are a sheep herder, and most people don't look out into the world and see it for what it is.
Yeah.
But those few that can do that, who are able to do that, and then make the requisite decisions to impact the world, those are the ones we need. Those are the ones that matter. Those are the ones that make a difference. You feel me?
Right.
And that's real.
Now, the brothers, I want to make one thing clear while I'm talking. Shakka Ahmose has nothing to do with what I'm getting ready to ask him.
Sure.
Because I watch everybody. I check everybody out. From Brother Polite, the young Pharaoh,
For sure.
to Dr. Umar Johnson. I want to know, what do you think about the rest of the brothers? I mean, like, has any of these brothers fallen off, or they just doing a thing, or they uplifting people? Because I think you can get something from just about everybody out there.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think you can get something from everybody out there.
No?
I think that because of the business aspect of this whole thing, the conscious community, you got a lot of people, and not just because of that, but because of social media, you got a lot of people who are in position to mislead and miseducate a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying? You got a lot of people sending you this way, and there's a whole lot of people out there that's going to be sent that way, that's going to have to come all the way back this way just to go that way. And to a large degree, they really don't have anybody to blame but themselves, because they didn't choose. It's like when you go out into the street, you don't just eat everything that's out here just because it's out here.
Yeah.
Right? You don't do that. You have a particular way of eating. That means you should also have a particular diet for your mind. If you got a particular diet for your body, you got to have a particular diet for your mind as well. Right. And if you just greedy and just want to listen to everybody and just get everything, want to waste your time, that's on you.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't do that. I'm not interested in what 90% of these guys are saying. Really, darn near 99% of them, I'm not interested in what they're saying. Right. You know, the only scholar out there that I really got respect for in the conscious community right now is Salim Faraji, Dr. Salim Faraji. That's it. Ain't nobody else really moving me. Okay. And I mean nobody else. Don't ask me to name a name, because ain't nobody for me to name. Right. I don't fuck with none of them other cats. People calling themselves doctor this and doctor that, and they ain't got no PhD. Right. They ain't got no MD. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, dude, I can't mess with you. Oh, this university gave me an honorary doctorate. They ain't give you shit. You know what I mean? If you're a doctor, then go get your doctorate. You understand what I'm saying? Right. That's real. I don't claim to be a doctor, but I do. But when it comes to my diet, my literary diet, when it comes to that, you know, when it comes to my literary diet, it's PhDs for me. For me, that's what I like. I like PhDs. I'm not saying you got to do it or this one got to do it. If you want to follow behind young Pharaoh, follow behind young Pharaoh. You want to follow behind Sara Sutin Seti, follow behind Sara Sutin Seti. Just don't get mad when you run into somebody like me. Ain't nobody like me, but don't get mad when you run into somebody like me and you get your ass eaten up. That's on your face, you.
Well, I mean, the Hebrew Israelites, man, I don't know, man. Dudes like Captain.
Can we stop the camera for a second?
Okay.
Can you give me?
All right, we got like maybe just about 3 more questions. I don't want to hold you up.
That's cool. We good.
All right.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. Like I was saying, the Hebrew Israelites. ISP UK, General Yohana, you know, Captain Tazara, so on and so forth. I know that in their heads, they doing what they think is right for our people. Right. But it seems to me that they are the most, maybe the most detrimental organization out there to our people, because it seems like to me that they try to change everybody in the Bible black, which probably didn't exist anyway, as a cushion so that they can make them feel better about the information that they're putting out.
Right.
What do you think about Hebrew Israelites?
I don't put any specific blame on Hebrew Israelites. The bottom line is that any black person calling themselves a Hebrew Israelite, they don't know anything about history. It's my history. You understand what I'm saying?
Or the location of Israel.
I'm sorry?
Or the location of Israel.
Well, it's not even a question of knowing the location of Israel. The real question is, what was Israel? You understand what I'm saying? What was it? It was nothing more than an Iron Age state. So to be claiming your identity from an Iron Age state, when we come from a people that had civilizations prior to the Iron Age, during the Bronze Age, the Copper Age, why aren't we those people too? Why are we just those one specific people, just the Hebrew Israelites? You understand? My reason, my personal reason for subscribing to a Nile Valley worldview, a Nile Valley culture, is not to say that all black people are ancient Egyptians,
right,
or all black people hail from ancient Egypt. That's not the point that I'm making.
Right.
My reason, you gotta always ask somebody, what is your reason behind what you do?
Right.
My reason behind subscribing to ancient Kemet is because, or just Nile Valley civilization in general, is because of the specific thing that civilization meant in the large scope of all of our civilizations. The things that they did, the things that they espoused. So it's because of my own personal aesthetic values. My own personal aesthetic values, the things that I see reflected in ancient Kemet, in its literature, in its art, in its values, in its morals, all of that. The things that I see reflected in that resonate with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I personally, it's my personal feeling that it resonates with me because I'm an African. So I don't know many African people who are not co-opted by these religions that wouldn't resonate with ancient Egypt, or the things in Egypt and out of ancient Egypt wouldn't resonate with them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
For ancient Egypt not to resonate with you as an African, you gotta have been co-opted by one of them Abrahamic religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Then because you've been taken out of your right mind. You've been put into the mind of somebody else. So when you see an ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, you don't see yourself.
Right.
I don't feel that way. When I see ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, I see myself as an African.
Exactly.
Just as an African, period. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all. It's not me saying we are all coming from that one experience. I'm not saying that. I know that many of us do come out of that experience and have descended down from that experience. There's no question about it.
Right.
I'm talking about American Africans as well as Africans throughout the world.
Yeah.
They did come out of that experience. There's no question about it. You know?
Right. The president, Donald Trump or Obama, I'm talking about from back to George Washington, the presidents before him that hardly nobody know about. Do you think that the president really is like the commander-in-chief? Do you think he has a boss over him? Somebody pulling his strings? Because we heard Hillary told Donald Trump that the reason why they want you in there because you're a puppet. But if Hillary got in there, she'd be a puppet. I mean, the agendas that they got for us, we got the short end of the stick anyway. So, like, what's your view on, the president? Like,
I put it to you like this.
Like, where are we going? Where's our people going, or where can we go in this so-called administration?
First of all, I don't know if we're looking at, in order to solve a problem, you first have to look at it correctly. I I don't think we spend enough time as a people or as individuals refining our lenses so that we can look at things as they actually are, in as much as we can. Right. Because you have to remember, we are in a position that we're going to have to make decisions without a full palette of information. You're never going to know everything, and you're definitely not going to know everything about things that other persons don't want you to know about. That's life. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not going to know about things that other people don't want you to know about. So, meaning that a lot of people like to talk about secret organizations.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a secret organization and you're not a part of it, how you know about it and how you speaking on it? Why should I believe anything you say about it if you told me it was secret? You want to tell me all about Illuminati? Did Illuminati invite you in and show you their minutes? Did Illuminati invite you in and tell you about their agendas or this, that, and the other? No. So then why should I believe one iota of anything you have to say about it, if it even exists? Right? So I think the best thing that black people can do, like there's a brother by the name of Q Butter, and he has an organization called Zyx. It's in Brooklyn.
Q Butter.
Yeah, Q Butter. Look for him. Q-U-E, Q Butter. B-U-T-T-E-R.
Okay.
All right, you want to check, he's on YouTube, just type in Q Butter. Q-U-E-B-U-T-T-E-R. And his organization, Zyx, right? X-Y-A-Y-X.
Okay.
Zyx. And what I love about this brother is that he's not waiting for black people to get on one accord, because that ain't never gonna happen anyway. What he has is the most important, the most precious thing any one of us can have. And that is, he has an agenda. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He has an agenda. So he is going to be as effective as he implements that agenda. And what will enable him to be that effective depends on, number one, his will to follow through on it, and then number two, the general support that he receives from the rest of us, for those who value what he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, hey, what's good, fam? Nothing but love. You heard? My brother. I'm both from my mother. You know what I mean? So that's what that's all about. You know, there are, you know, those who have the right agenda, and there are many of us that have the right agenda. There are a lot of good things going on that we are all doing. Just because I tell people, like, you know what makes me laugh? Well, not makes me laugh, but what I think is pathetic is when black people say, oh, we're not doing this, we're not doing. The first question I ask them, well, what are you doing? Because you don't know what every other black person is doing right now.
Yeah.
You don't know what somebody's doing out in the woods, what somebody's doing up in the mountains, what things they're preparing. You don't know.
Exactly.
What next? You're gonna tell me what Al Qaeda is doing and not doing? You don't know. The only thing you can ever answer is what you're doing or what you ain't doing.
Right.
That's it. That's the only thing you can ever speak to, because you can speak with direct knowledge, because the only person who knows is you. That's it. So it's always gonna come back to what MJ said, check the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Or the woman in the mirror. What are you doing?
Right.
You know? I always ask myself that, Shakka, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Have you done enough? You know? And at any given moment, I like to think I'm doing the best I can.
Right.
If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Any more questions?
Just one more. That's pretty much what my last question. Like, where do you see yourself 10, 20 years from now? As in helping people or just...
Let's deal with a question you asked me. Let's deal with a question you asked me before you turned the camera on.
Okay.
Because I think that was an important question. You asked me, you said, yo, what's up with Sara Sutin Seti? Right?
Right.
So, and what did I reply? My reply was, I don't know. I think something's not right with the brother upstairs. That's what I think. That's my personal belief. Okay? Now, as far as what the argument is about, which is the middle nature,
yeah,
it hasn't been deciphered or not.
Right.
This is my position on that. All you can do, the only thing you or me or the person that's watching, the only thing that they can do to come to a decision about a question like that is they have to hear the person's argument. I've heard the argument of the people who say it has been deciphered. Okay?
Yeah.
Dr. Ben said it was deciphered. But that doesn't mean much just because Dr. Ben said it.
Right.
But there seems to be a consensus amongst philologists, linguists, and historians that it indeed has been deciphered. Okay? Not 100%, but enough so that they have a working knowledge of what they're dealing with. So I've heard their particular arguments, so I could come to my own conclusion and make my own decision as to whether or not I believe it and I can follow through with it, you know, study it, learn it, so on and so on.
Yeah.
The problem with SETI, I haven't really listened to young Pharaoh yet, but I'm going to.
Right.
The problem with SETI is that I've heard his argument, and the problem with his argument and why I cannot concur with what he said predicated on what he says is because his argument is it's not plausible. There is no part of his argument that is plausible. I'll give you a perfect example. He said in order for the Medu Neter to have been deciphered, that the Greeks would have known how to speak, read and write ancient Egyptian. He said the Greeks did not read or write ancient Egyptian. He also said the ancient Egyptians did not speak, read, or write Greek. And then he capped it off with saying that they left no dictionary. He said the ancient Egyptians never produced a Greek-Egyptian dictionary. Or that he said they never produced dictionaries of their language, period. The problem with all of that is that he's wrong on all of those. The ancient Egyptians did speak Greek.
Peace, God.
Peace, God. The Greeks did speak ancient Egyptian. They did produce dictionaries, the ancient Egyptians. They did. Lots of them. In fact, we have them. The scholarly community has them. So that being said, why are you, what's good, family?
How you doing?
Ain't nothing but love. So
Always.
it's been a minute. Been
Yes.
too long, man.
Yes.
We got to link one of these days, do lunch.
Nice shit from here.
We got to do lunch or something.
Facts. That's a
You
fact.
and me, all right? So basically, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that how you gonna be wrong on everything and think you teaching the people? That's crazy. You know, and I'm gonna say this too, you're gonna get the first person to see this. The person who I blame for a lot of this confusion really, and I gotta be honest, is one of my own teachers. And that's Dr. Ben. Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, because he was caught up in a lot of things that dealt with miseducation of the very subject matter we're talking about. You know, he was a Mason. So if you're a Mason and you're dealing with Masonic worldview, a lot of that shit is incorrect. All of it is incorrect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to take that and apply that to ancient Egypt, you're wrong. And all you're doing is sending people in the wrong direction. Telling people that those glyphs, the Medu Neter glyphs, the hieroglyphics, telling them that they are symbolic, when they're not symbolic. Some of them are symbolic, but a very few of them. The majority of them are phonetic. So if you don't know that, then you don't understand the mechanism of the language, the logograms, the ideograms, the phonograms, the different things that they do, the functions. If you don't understand the components of a system, why are you speaking on the system? And then another thing, for you to say what something is not, you have to first be able to prove what it is. SETI and Pharaoh have not proved what the Medu Neter is. They said that it's symbolic. They said you can't take a letter and just put it on a symbol. Well, first of all, I don't see why not, because what is a letter? It's a symbol. So that don't even make sense, right? So, and then the other part of it is, you're saying what it's not, which means that you have to know what it is. But you can't know what it is because you said it hasn't been deciphered. So you can't have it both ways. What they're doing is they're pushing what's called their own argument defeat themselves. They defeat themselves with their own argument. Their argument in itself is a contradiction in terms. You understand what I'm saying? The argument in itself is a contradiction in terms. There's no progress. with that. There's no progress with that. You know what I mean? So don't worry about that. You know what I mean? So that's what that's all about. There's no progress with their perspective. The only thing they could do is miseducate people with their own miseducation. That's all they could do. And part of the reason they're doing that too is that's to do with power. See, the people who can read and write Medu Neter, they could take people further into the study of it. Those people who cannot, they're barred from that. So you don't want to look like you're in first grade while other people looking like they're in college. And the problem with SETI and Pharaoh, they're in first grade. And they don't want people to know it. And that's just what it is. And I put money on it. I look SETI in the face, and I hope you see this video. I'll debate you anytime, anywhere for free. You can get all the money. Set it up.
I was just getting ready to ask you, is that going to lead to a debate, or do you think?
And I know, see, the thing that really makes him a coward to me is he made a statement that he's no longer debating. So why did you wait to retire as a debater to come at me? Why'd you do that? Because you knew you wasn't going to have to get that ass whooping in person, academically speaking. You heard? But it's still going to happen. I'm not done. I got construction going on in my home, in my residence, so I haven't been able to focus on my presentations. But as soon as the construction is done, I'm gonna get back to my presentations and hit the people off with the right knowledge. You know, because these brothers are miseducating people, and it's sad. It's about ego and money, and it's like, come on, if you want to teach the people, just give it. If you got the knowledge, give it to them. The problem with a lot of these guys, they're pretending to have the knowledge when they don't. And then they're miseducating people. It's like, why are you doing that? We got enough of that going on Sunday in the church, Saturday in the synagogue, and whatever. Oh, Saturday in the synagogue, Sunday in the church, and Friday in the mosque. So you got miseducation going on 3 days a week, and now they adding to it. It's like, come on. And it's supposed to be the conscious community, the Kemetic community. Most of these people screaming Kemet don't know the first thing about it. When I tell you, bro, when I tell you they don't know the first thing about it, they don't. And I hate to say it, that also includes people who read and write Medu Neter. Most of them don't even really understand the real science behind all of that. They don't get it. You know, or they don't understand why the things are the way they are. You understand what I'm saying? Even when you deal with linguistics, even linguistics has a historical component. So when you're talking about not an abjad, but when you talk about an abjad, when you talk about a language system, if I'm right, I could be wrong, but when you talk about a language system that only has consonants, right? Like the Medu Neter. So people say, oh, well, we can't read and write the Medu Neter because it only has consonants. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What makes you think that just because consonants behave a certain way now in modern times, that they always behave that way? And better yet, what makes you think all consonants do the same thing? They don't. But if you knew anything about linguistics, you would know that. If you knew anything about grammar, you would know that. But they don't know that because they don't study. I showed them in one of my last presentations that the Medu Neter indeed had vowels. It had semi-vowels. Had about 9 of them, 9 or 12. I think about 9 of them. 9 semi-vowels in it. But nobody talks about it. Because one thing I've learned, and I hate to say this, and then we're gonna end it on this, I love my people.
Me too, man. That's why I'm out
I love
here.
black people. However, I gotta be honest. One thing about our people love ignorance. I mean, bro, not only do they love ignorance, they love being ignorant.
They love to be fooled, everything.
You understand what I'm saying? They do, but they love it.
They love
like, yo, no, you don't understand what I mean. They love ignorance like Thanksgiving dinner. Okay? And when you understand that, then you'll understand black people. Sorry. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going to be mad that I said it. I'm out here. I speak to us. I know. I see what we care about. I see what we put our energy into. I see the things we want to know about and the things that we don't. So either it's real or it's not. Either it's true or it's not. So from my perspective, it's true. We love ignorance like we love Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. So, you know.
I mean, a lot of stuff Pharaoh say, I listen to him, a lot of stuff he say, it seems like he's putting it, you know, because if he's not talking about the Medu Neter or anything like that, you know, I try to lead it up to you, the people who know that, you know, doing, but I mean, a lot of things that he say, that, you know, he make a lot of shit in line for us, but I mean, like,
bro.
But I'm just a platform.
Let me tell you something. Hold on.
I'm just a platform, so.
It is a platform. If if you ask me from my perspective, the brother who calls himself Young Pharaoh, he is not a scholar. He's not even close to being a scholar.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's just the truth of the matter. You know? And I welcome him to debate me anytime he wants. You heard?
Right.
Real talk. Anytime he wants. But he can't, ain't gonna be no crying later. You know what I mean? And ain't gonna be no backing out like they did with Ahmed Rock Squad. You're gonna debate me, you're gonna have to go all the way through with it. You heard?
Yeah, I was wondering about that, but I ain't speak on it because, you know, like I said, I love all my people, and I ain't, you know, I'm just out here interviewing.
Nah,
so
I can't tell
you.
you
Nobody running after me.
Hold on, watch me. Look, me personally, I ain't gonna tell you I love all my people because I don't. I don't love all my people.
Okay.
Because all my people ain't about love. All my people, you know, my people are about a whole lot of different things.
Yeah, you got
I
that.
love those of my people who are worthy of being loved. I mean, maybe I'll grow between now and some other time where I do this like the sun, just put it on everybody.
Yes.
You know? And even though the sun shines on everybody, it don't warm everybody the same way.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though the sun warms everybody, it don't warm everybody the same way.
Same people in 80-degree weather talking about I'm freezing. Like, what the hell is going on?
You know? Nah, forget that. Yo, the sun could be shining in Jamaica, you're gonna be hot the closer you are to the equator.
Right.
The sun could be shining in Switzerland, but you're gonna be freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the sun might shine on everybody, but it don't warm everybody the same way.
Right.
You understand? So I can say, yeah, I love all my people, but I can't say I love them all the same way. You know? Real talk. So with that, it's your brother Shakka Ahmose. Check out EmbracePangea.com. That's the family. You got to check it out. EmbracePangea.com. Especially for the sisters, you really got to check that out if you just want to find feminine products. And also Nile Valley Movement all day. This is your brother Shakka Ahmose. You know what we do. You know how we do it. We bring you that real shit. Not that fugazi stuff. Check it for me. Don't come for the fugazi stuff. With that, Uncle Jackson Hotep, peace, and shout out to House of Consciousness and Brother Sonetta. And what's the name of your platform?
Key Life Productions.
Key Life?
Key Life Productions.
Key Life Productions.
And I hope it is not in conflict with Key of Life Productions.
Whatever.
When I put it together, I ain't know.
Shout out Uncle Jackson Hotep to Key Life Productions. It's your brother Shakka Ahmose, wishing you all health, life, and prosperity. Hotep.
This is Brother Sakim signing out. Hotep.